Hey everybody, it's Dawn Calicchio from RE/MAX Diamond Realtors right here in Central New Jersey. In case you guys are wondering, yes, it is still a seller's market. It is still extremely hot for sellers. It's a great time to sell. Today, I want to talk to you about the term dual disclosed agent, because in this market, I find that it is really important for both sides, buyers and sellers, to know exactly what that means and how to make sure that your agent is representing you to the best of their ability. In every transaction, an agent has a role to play. So sometimes it is the seller's agent, the listing agent, the agent that lists the property and works for the seller. Their job is to get the best price possible for the seller in the shortest amount of time. When you're working as a buyer's agent, your job is to work with your buyer, put them in touch with a loan officer and get them pre-approved. Then you go house hunting and you find the perfect property in the perfect neighborhood for your buyer that fits all their needs, or at least most of their needs. And it's your job to guide them and let them know, okay, this is what most homes have sold for in this area that are in basically the same condition and the same square footage. So you educate them on what the market is doing and what the best price is to go in at to make an offer. Now, of course, right now, that is a job and a half, because most of the time, even after you do all that, you have to go in over asking because there are multiple offers right now. Now we move on to dual disclosed agent, and that's where it can get a little tricky. So first of all, the one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that dual disclosed agent is when a particular agent represents both the buyer and the seller. Okay, so you have one agent like myself who is the listing agent on the property. And let's just say I did an open house and a couple came through and they weren't working with anybody. And they said, you know what, Dawn, we really like you. We would like you to represent us and we'd like to place an offer on this house. I now become a dual disclosed agent because I am working for both the buyer and the seller. So we're going to get into a little bit more of the details on that one. But one other thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that if I am the listing agent and I am sitting in open house and one of my coworkers, so I work for RE/MAX Diamond Realtors. So if one of my coworkers come from RE/MAX Diamond Realtors and they bring a client, and they decide that they're going to write up an offer for their buyer, now it is still dual disclosed agency because I work under the umbrella of RE/MAX Diamond Realtors, and so does the other agent that's representing the buyer. So I think sometimes people don't really realize that. They think it's just when the agent represents both sides, the one agent, but dual disclosed agency is also when two different agents represent the buyer and the seller, but they both work for the same company. So now I want to talk to you about the first scenario again. Okay, so that is when the listing agent also represents the buyer. This is where it can get a little tricky. And I want to say up front that yes, can it be done? Absolutely. Can an agent represent both the buyer and seller and still do it with integrity and honesty? 100%. But there are some things that you, as the buyer and the seller, need to be made aware of, just so that you protect yourself and make sure that everything is on the up and up. Number one, and the most important thing to remember throughout the entire transaction, is that the agent cannot disclose any information that was shared to them by the buyer or the seller. So in other words, here's an example. Sometimes when you list a property, the homeowner will say to you, you know what, we really need to get X. So, okay, we're going to list your home for $399.9. But basically what you're telling me is that you really don't want to take any less than $385. So now home is on the market, you get a buyer, the buyer comes into an open house, they want you to represent them. Now you know in your head that your seller will take $385. That's not something that you can share with the buyer. When you sit down with the buyer, and they say, we want to write the offer up for $380. So you cannot say, listen, I just want to let you know, if you go up to $385, you'll get it. Because I clearly know that the seller will take $385. That's not legal. It's not ethical. And it's just really not good business. If you go to the seller and say, listen, they're coming in at 380, what would you like to counter at? And the seller says to you, well, Dawn, you know what, we had discussed in the beginning that we would take 385. So you can go back and tell them, if you come up to 385, it's yours. Now you can. You can tell the buyer or the seller anything as long as you have permission from the buyer or the seller. So that last scenario obviously was in a normal market. Well, here in the state of New Jersey, especially in central Jersey where I'm located, there's not a lot of negotiating going on. Basically, what we're seeing is properties are going for over asking, and typically the verbiage is the listing agent is asking for highest and best by Tuesday at 5. So I will say in this market, you have to be really careful. I've had people come to me and say they only want to work with the listing agent. And that's typically a red flag for me. If somebody only wants to work with the listing agent, only wants to work with me because I'm the listing agent on the property, you can be concerned that they're looking for insider information. I've had people come to me and say, okay, Dawn, well, you're the listing agent and there's 7 other offers. So what do I need to do to beat everybody? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you what I have on the table. I can't tell you what the other terms are. I can't tell you if I have other offers that are cash. If you're thinking your highest and best is going to be 400,000, and I know I already have 410, I can't share that information with you. Because let's face it, if you're a buyer right now and you're losing out on houses, and we all are, I mean, when you're up against 14, 15, 18, 25, 30 offers, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose multiple times. As long as you lose fair and square, that's a little bit easier to swallow. But you know what? If you're losing because somebody else knew that they had to come up another 5, that's not fair. So listen, I just wanted to go over dual disclosed agency with you. I just want you to know what the difference is, what your rights are, and what you can expect from your agent when they're representing you. So listen, I hope this was helpful. Stay safe out there and good luck. If you're a seller, you're getting top dollar in this market, so congratulations to you. If you are a buyer, listen, your agent is out there working their butt off to get you the house that you really want and get your offer accepted. So hang in there. It's going to happen. You just have to have patience in this market. So listen, take care. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.